Previously on Twilight's Edge. Palavin, the Master, joins the fray with his two bony wolves. The party, overwhelmed by their foes, retreats and flees into the depth of Rhaego Cader towards the Ramble Gardens. Frustration, anger, and disappointment run high, but all our band can do for now is to camp in an abandoned building and lick their wounds. Morning brings new chances, and perhaps the next sunrise will bring better fortunes to our coterie.
Tumble through, tumble through, tumble through.
Tumble
through!
Wait, are we doing this now? It's new? I missed this one.
This is new. This is improv.
Hello and welcome back, everyone, to Tumble Through. It is us once again. For us, it's been a while. For you, it's been a week. So thanks for being here. I am the host and GM of the Twilight's Edge Pathfinder 2e campaign, Crifu Bernal, pronouns he, him. And yes, Tumble Through is back again. Although, like I said, the audience has no idea.
Yeah, you guys have no idea. We had an adventure. It's been wild. I died.
But you got better.
Yeah, we did a whole die comic thing.
Oh
where
my
we
God.
disappeared into this game.
It sucks because Flint hates me, so that was really hard.
Yeah.
I missed the last episode, so I'm still in the dark about what happened.
Okay. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Aida. My pronouns are she and her, and I am playing Sombra, the Kayal or fetchling monk, whose pronouns are she, they. She's very good at giving pep talks, says me shaking my head emphatically. No.
No.
As victim of said pep talks, hi, my name's Marcus, pronouns are he, him, and I play Zakun, the Grey Fork Oracle, also pronouns are he, him. He's very good at receiving pep talks, and I hope that in this episode, we're gonna not have two natural ones in a row on treat wounds checks. That was rough, but exciting.
Oh, yeah.
They treat physical wounds, but they don't treat your emotional wounds.
They didn't treat the
very
physical
true.
wounds either, actually, come think of it.
Yeah, actually make them worse.
Actually, I
They make
know.
them worse.
Yeah, they got worse. Yeah, I think that.
my
Yeah.
lord. Oh no.
Hi, I am Anna. I use them pronouns, and I'll be playing Lowen, he, they pronouns. Lowen is a Hellspawn Nephilim wizard. Not very good at pep talks, I think. I think any pep talk that he does might end up sounding vaguely threatening. I feel like. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Pan, pronouns he, they, she, and I play Flint, the kobold ruffian rogue, pronouns he, him. Flint is actually pretty good at giving pep talks. They're pretty used to it, often with their bedside manner being a little bit brusque, but they come from the heart. They come from the heart. Speaking of the heart, Flint's feeling a little better after just being kind of bad acupunctured all night.
Let's settle on that, yeah.
Bad acupunctured. Kia ora, hi, I'm Evan, aka Māori Nerd. My pronouns are he, him. And I play Nico, the Rainfall Orc Druid, also he, him. And Nico is, I think he gives good pep talks. He's pretty calm, pretty
Everyone
level-headed.
shakes their head yes when you
Yeah.
I think he's probably someone you go to. He's about de-escalation of situations. Doesn't like a fight.
Is he an older sibling by any chance?
Oh,
To be fleshed out in the next talk series?
I don't know. Nico gives me big middle child energy. Like, I'm getting big middle child energy.
I had a chat with Creeper. No, it wasn't a sibling, was it? It was a bestie.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. This was during the between times on our break. But anyway, I digress. Carry on.
Yeah, I do have ideas for flashback episodes.
A dream sequence.
Ooh, maybe we'll all go into each other's memories. I don't
Do
know.
they start with that harp sound that you hear when people in movies go to memory?
Yeah. I think it depends on the person what sound
I was
you
about
hear.
to say that really depends on the person. But
Yeah.
did we have nice dreams as we awaken?
So when we return to West Crown, it is Friday morning, or Fire Day, rather, on Golarian. And it is dark, just before the dawn. And we come to this abandoned ruined Vineo in the northern section of the Rambling Gardens in Rago Cater, the ruin district, where our party has camped out for the night, having feared leading the bastards to the Arboretum, where there would be secured safety against the shadow creatures that have been sniffing around the Everlight crystal that Lowen placed in the entrance to this Vineo. On the map, you can see there is a source of light coming from the front of this building. I know some people are upstairs. There was a rather dramatic storm off from one of our party members last time, but I don't know what necessarily the sleeping arrangements were like.
Would it make sense, even though at the end of last session we did have Zakun and Sombra briefly upstairs, would it make sense that for the actual sleeping we would all be in the same room, just out of safety
think so,
precautions?
Yeah, that would be the smart.
Yeah.
Even
safety
if we
thing,
were
yeah.
emotionally in a state,
Yeah.
our characters seem pragmatic enough to like, yo,
Yeah, you wouldn't go off and split the group in
Exactly.
such a
not
Yeah,
not
no,
for
no,
like
yeah.
this
no.
kind of thing.
Especially not with the shadow monsters, which you're all aware of.
Yeah.
So in this dilapidated, almost rotten, so sort of grand hall of this Vineo that's overgrown, there's probably even like trees sticking through one of the windows nearby, vines kind of growing everywhere.
Love that.
We can see our party sleeping, and it looks like on the map that Sombra's turned on her light.
Yeah, previously that Sombra did use the ancestral traits that she has as a Kyle, as a fetchling, that she can emanate light and she can cast the light spell as well. And as Sombra can herself glow, I think when she doesn't have light emanating from her body, her skin looks very overall evenly, the same complexion is even. But when the light is emanating from her physically, it's almost as if she has freckles across her face, above her shoulders, by her collarbones, on her forehead. And this is what is sort of glowing and letting out this sort of aura of light.
Kind of like bioluminescence style.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Enough light to give off the same amount of light as a candle would. But if you've noticed by me, it's dark in here because my light bulb is burnt out on on my standing lamp, and I refuse to use overhead lighting because gay.
You need 3-point lighting here and here.
Absolutely.
So I've got a candle and I've got my ring light on.
Wow, a candle.
I've got 2 candles going.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But speaking of light, there is that Everlight crystal that's been placed towards the front entrance. There are like 2 entrances, the left and the right, or the south and the north, where the doors are just kind of like hanging off. But this light has been put here to sort of keep them at bay. And Lowen rolled a secret recall knowledge check last time to determine if that would be enough. And with that critical 1, Lowen assumed, of course, that would
Yeah,
be
it's
enough.
fine. Yeah.
But as our party is sleeping, there is the soft flapping of wings outside. Landing on the
I don't like this.
terrace outside, we see a tiny, shadowy drake that just lands there and sort of like looks at the Everlight crystal, giving off a white light, just sort of like looks at it for a little while. There's a soft inhale, and as it
No.
exhales, The shadow drake spits a ball of black liquid that explodes into frigid black shadows, waking all of you up with the sound.
Was that onto the crystal or onto us?
Onto the crystal.
Oh,
Fuck.
wonderful.
And as it does that, it makes a counteract check.
No.
A
No.
And it succeeds.
Wait, what's a counter
Yeah,
check?
we get-
yeah.
Marcus seems really
we-
Yeah,
confused.
exactly.
That, like
What?
the Pathfinder equivalent
Yeah,
of
what
a
is
sneak
that?
attack.
So what happens with a counteract check is whenever, especially magic, is working against other magic, that's when you start doing counteract checks. What it boils down to is that basically the caster is rolling if their magic is stronger to overpower the other person's magic. In this case, I have the
Okay.
suspicion that the shadow creature is barfing darkness at our light, and we're checking if that barfed darkness is stronger than the Everlight crystal. And considering the roll,
Right.
which is a 24, and dear listeners,
Right.
And the
consider-
lights
Creepers
going
all
considering
on
the
the
fact, dear
map.
listeners, that on our virtual tabletop, the light just went off, I think that counteract
Yeah.
worked.
I was looking at our DM's face as well and gave it away.
Yeah, Clifford was loving it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, Barf the Darkness title.
Barf the darkness.
Let's see if anything like less barfy comes
I'm
up. through the
assuming it's
kitchen.
covering the light because it does say in the items description that it can be covered, but it can't be extinguished.
This is different because the shadow breath can counteract magical light. So as the shadow covers the gem, we see the gem like flicker briefly and then go dark and hollow and lose its ever light.
It's exactly what
capabilities.
happened to Krifu's lamp on his ceiling. So that's
Yes.
No, the ceiling lamp works. I just
Oh,
refuse
okay.
to use it.
So
It's
the
a
shadow
standing
drake
lamp.
is gay, and it's like this lighting's bad.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like ambient lighting.
I think Sombra would just instantaneously sit up and even just kick standing up and crane her neck looking around.
Roll initiative.
Roll initiative. What's the word I heard?
initiative.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's
It's
go.
jump up time. It's
Yeah,
dagger
yeah.
time.
Well. The initiative is filling. It's exciting to see. Nico is leading the charge with a 20 on initiative, followed by the Shadow Drake, led by Sombra. But everything changes when Flint rolls magnificently and is in lead.
This is like a race. This is like listening to a horse race.
Luckily, everyone has dark vision except for poor Fugo.
Oh,
Has no hands and cannot see.
wow.
So with that explosion, the light goes out. Sombra jolts up.
Wake the fuck up.
Everyone wakes up, but Flint, you're the first to act.
Yeah. Okay. Now in the low light, can I see this drake at all?
No, but I think you all know well enough that something came from the north through the entrance.
And we would notice that the light is off, right? That
You would definitely notice the
Yeah,
light.
totally,
The
totally.
light is off.
But Sombra is giving off like dim light, right?
Sombra is giving off 5 feet of bright light. And then you would notice that at the entrance, there is this sort of like emanating frigid black shadow. And you can feel the cold coming off of it, even though this is a hot and humid summer's night. Well, morning. Who slept in their armor?
What's armor? Asks Sombra.
I don't have any.
I think Flint just kind of is used to it, to be honest. He has his cape that he uses as like a makeshift blanket. He's just used to sleeping
Because
and stuff.
if I'm not mistaken, it's the whole similarities to Dungeons and Dragons. If you sleep in your armor, you're technically not getting a full rest.
Right. Flint could be used to it if he had the feet.
There's a feat to be used to wearing your armor.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Either
of
you're
course.
wearing your armor or you did not get the benefits of a
It's
full
called
rest.
armored rest, by the way.
And remember, this is Pathfinder. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You get
that's
nothing
fine.
for free. Nothing's free.
All right. You know what? Cool. So Flint gets up immediately, and I'm going to use my turn to get dressed, put my stuff on, and squint into the darkness.
It takes 1 minute to don light armor.
My God. I can get dressed faster than that.
Yeah, but it's light armor. You have to like buckles and things.
Okay, then, I mean, do I have time to get dressed?
So do you want to be fatigued or do you want to be armored?
I think, honestly, like, after getting battered last time, I think I'm fatigued. I'm fatigued because he was already in a bad state. So, wakes up, armored, but fatigued.
Okay, so wearing your armor, Flint stands up, first action.
Draws weapon,
Okay.
second action, and wordlessly motions to Sombra to, like, she's obviously giving off light. Pulls out torch. Yeah, keep your eyes open.
The torch isn't lit though yet, right? It's just handed?
Right. So
It's
one
an action
action,
to light
draw
the torch.
Second
Okay.
action, light it.
In that case, Flint gets up, draws weapon, pulls out a torch, lights torch.
So okay, you're listing 4 actions: stand up, draw,
Oh my
torch,
God.
light torch.
Wait! Stand up. Okay, alright, okay, no weapon, just draw torch, light torch.
Nico is clumsy and encumbered.
What? Why?
Wow, that's just
I
rude.
don't know. It's on your character.
No, I changed my armor to stowed rather than worn. So would it just be on the ground beside me? Can I change it to dropped?
Yes.
Because I wouldn't take it off and then put it on my back. I'd probably just
Yes,
leave.
exactly.
Marcus, I can see you.
No, I'm just sitting here. I hope you all realize that getting ambushed sucks. This is,
It does suck.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm up and alert. I'm looking around. I whisper to Fugo, just stay where you are. And can I see where this darkness has come from? Can I see what's happened?
At the front of the room, you can see that's aforementioned shadowy coldness and the frigidity that's emanating off of it. So you know something came in from outside.
Right. And what is this? The structure? I'm thinking if I could do a root reading, would I be able to get a position on whatever's doing this?
You might be able to.
So I whisper to Fugo, I'm still crouched in the darkness or bathed in the light of Sombra. I place my hands on the ground and close my eyes. In my mind's eye, I reach through the ground and through nature to sense the pulse out, whoom, 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 and see if I can feel any presences across that natural network.
As we move through the roots, you can sense all of the presences of your party members in here, but specifically of the 3 medium-sized creatures, Sombra, Lowen, and Zekun. Flint isn't registering because the spell specifically says if there are any unnoticed medium or larger creatures.
Ooh.
And as you zoom out, like around the area, you don't sense any other big creatures, but you know that doesn't mean that tinier or smaller creatures aren't there. That was 2 actions you're reading.
2 actions. Okay.
Are you still lying down?
No, I'm gonna get up. That's my 3rd action.
That's the root reading lying down, then goes, okay, well.
No, I was sort of crouched during the root reading. I think I'll get up and be in a bit more of a stance, ready to move.
Yeah.
Nico is unarmored, but
Yeah,
not fatigued.
unarmored. Not fatigued.
As you stand up, Nico, a creature does indeed fly in from outside. It's got a pretty mean fly, and in fact, as it flies in, you can see it goes really fast. It uses for its first action Speed Surge, which allows it to stride or fly twice.
Clearly goes straight for the light source. Sorry, Pat.
I thought light kept them. I thought light keeps them away, right?
Oh no, that's light tells them where the food's
I
at.
think we're learning something new about these shadow creatures tonight.
Oh, this is great. This is
Yeah.
this is a learning moment.
I don't want this learning moment.
As you all see this tiny, basically like a tiny dragon made of shadows flying in here. And as it flies around the corner, it flies across the northern part of this chamber, adjacent to Nico, and stops mid-air. And for its second 2 actions, for its second and third action, we'll use a Draconic Frenzy and make a bite and 2 tail strikes.
Do you know what? I think Nico sees it and sees how small it is, and is almost like, "Oh, look at that!" And then
Oh no.
That's the mistake. So it's going to start with a jaw strike.
Oh my!
Critical hits!
Oh no!
okay, I'm down. I'm out.
Nico's
No.
not wearing armor, so
I'm out.
that 25 is a critical hit.
I guess it makes sense. Like Nico's like the newest to the city. I've never seen any things that are like, oh wow, cute, and then bites
Yeah.
them. Like, oh, yeah, shit.
It
Yeah.
bites down on you for 8 points of piercing damage.
Oh shit.
And then we'll do 2 tail strikes. As it's flying, its tail comes out from underneath and just whips across you.
2 tail strikes?
Yeah, Draconic
Just slaps you across the
Frenzy.
face twice.
Draconic Frenzy's 2 actions. Let's me do 3 strikes. The second one, where 22 will hit for 7 points of damage.
Oh my god.
And for its third tail strike,
Misses.
misses with a 6.
Fuck this thing, man.
So yeah, Nico is
Not cute.
bloodied as this thing just chomps on him.
Yeah, I'm down to half.
Sombra, emanating your candlelight. What do you do?
Was Sombra standing before we rolled initiative?
You only said you sat up.
Fair.
Listen, if I had to use 3 actions to get up and light a torch,
Sombra will absolutely get to her feet, and then with her second action, stride over, almost like kicking off the pillars that are in the room, and just get around. And she kicks off the pillars that are in the room and just slides her way behind this Drake. And for her third action, she's just going to I have to go into Crane Strike here. As I say, you little shit.
Little shadowy shit.
I forgot to scream. I would have screamed.
You leave him the fuck alone.
Zekun.
So Zekun, it would definitely be fatigued. He kept his armor on. He was way too up in his head to put off his armor before going to sleep. Lying on the ground, already hearing Nico calling something cute, and then the sounds of a shadowy creature just completely unleashing on his fellow orc. I use 1 action to get up, rub the sleep out of my eyes, and...
Has 2 actions.
no, hold on, he's got 2 eyes,
I
so
have
3 actions.
the feet to do this as a free action. Is there on our beautiful map? It looks like Zekun is right next to a pillar that's in the middle of this giant hall that we're in. Can I, from where I'm currently standing, can I actually see the Shadow Drake?
You can see it. The pillars aren't enough to block the line of sight. They are enough because you're closer to it to give you cover.
To give me cover. Okay, that's cool. I'm going to then, with still a little bit of sleepiness and surprise what's going on, see around the pillar, see this Shadow Drake, and immediately channel some of my holy energy into my hands and fire a divine lance at the creature.
Holy against dark.
Yes.
That is a
Like
natural
medal.
20 for a total of 28.
Nice.
Go.
Okay.
Let's get
So
on that.
the damage
Yeah.
I'm going to roll will be doubled. That is a grand total. Well, it is 2, which can be doubled to 4. This is the curse of the D4, but still, there's just a little bit of frustration in that divine lance as there's this BAM! Slapping sound as the energy hits the Shadow Drake. And that's 3 actions on my turn.
Nice.
All right, Lowen.
Good turn.
I think Lowen wakes up from Sombra, like yelling at everyone to get up. He looks up. He was sleeping on kind of, I guess, a makeshift pillow of a coat, but there was a dagger underneath there. So he looks up, looks at what's going on, grabs the daggers. So that's 2 actions, getting up and grabbing the dagger. And will then use Hand of the Apprentice to try and fling it at it. Is it flying in the air, or where is it?
It is flying, but because Nico's in your way, it does have cover against this
Okay.
for you.
Is recall
Yeah.
knowledge 1 action?
It is.
Oh, I should have done that. Oh, good point, Evan.
That is a 24, so that should hit.
That's still gonna hit.
That is 8 points of damage as Lowen
Yes.
just yeets the the knife at it,
Yeet.
and it comes back in his hand. I think he just remembers like fucking pests.
The knife slices through the Shadow Drake's tiny wing, and like you can hear the shearing as these like shadows wisp off of it, and then it reforms and reknits. Still very much injured, but just cool shadowy effects.
Yeah, of course, that makes sense. And yeah, that's my turn.
Cool wizard shit that was.
You hear a second set of flapping wings
No.
as another drake flies into this foyer from outside, zipping in between to the center of these two rows of pillars. As it's flapping its wings, its dark eyes sort of like narrow, looking at the torch that Flint is holding, and there's that same intake of breath as another ball of black liquid shoots out and directly hits the space where Flint is standing. I need to measure a 5-foot burst. That should be Nico, Fugo, Lowen, and Zekun.
Don't you dare harm Fugo.
Right?
I will come for you.
Fugo has plot armor.
Exactly, plot
Foot
armor.
But if he didn't take it off, he's also fatigued.
That's okay. He never woke up.
Well, they're still asleep, so like it's fine.
Fugo remains asleep entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as it hits Flint, Nico, Fugo, Lowen, and Zekun are all engulfed in this frigid black shadow.
I hate it here.
All right, DC 18 basic reflex save against the shadow breath.
Got a 16.
Wait. I love that my die, like on screen, the virtual die bumped against someone else's die and rolled from a 16 to a 10.
Right?
Did you say we can hero point these?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, I got a 7, a 9? How?
Yeah, I got a 16. But I
Oh, it bumped into your die
Yeah.
and you got the 16.
Bumped
I was like, what?
No, I didn't get a 16. I had a 10 plus 6, so my also bumped into someone else's die and fell over.
I saw a 16, I was like, oh, good, 16. I was
no.
like, what, 9?
Oh,
Nico, you need to roll for Fugo.
You bastard.
I'm going to use a hero point to
yeah,
reroll mine.
I'm gonna
but I got a
reroll
9.
mine as well.
Okay, Flint and
that's
Lowen up
success.
their saves to successes.
Ooh.
Oh, shit. Fugo's
Oh, no.
fucked.
It
Fugo
rolled
failed.
back as well.
I'm so sorry, Flint. Your torch is extinguished.
Ah. So, just to be clear, because I'm trying to work around the crunch of this, if I make a reflex save while holding the torch, surely I avoid being extinguished, right?
You avoid the 3d6. You don't take all 3d6 cold damage that's coming.
Okay, so
The
it's a half
torch.
damage thing.
All mundane light sources get snuffed out.
Okay.
So, rolling 3d6 cold, that's 11 points of cold damage. So, Lowen, Nico, Flint, Zekun, did you save?
I failed.
You failed.
And I do not
so
reroll this one.
Lowen, Nico, Flint, you take half of that damage, and Fugo and Zekun take the full damage.
Fugo is dying.
It's personal now.
It is personal now. You don't know what you've unleashed, Krifu.
Well, anyway, round 2, Flint, your torch is out, and you're fatigued. What do you do?
Cool. I can still see in dim light, so I can still see that Fugo has gone from sleeping to
Dead.
mulch. Yeah, just become straight up mulch on the ground.
There's not much difference, actually.
So can I scoop up Fugo?
That's 3 actions.
It's one act.
God damn it!
Well, you're holding the unlit torch, and then you've got a hand free to scoop up Fugo.
Okay, all right. Is dropping an item
Free.
a free action? Okay, great. Drop the torch. Job done. Grab Fugo, 1 action. Yeah, I want to just keep. Can I keep Fugo like out of harm's way? Is it? I don't know how to heal a Bleshy or a familiar. Is that a thing you can do normally with medicine check?
You can do a medicine check to stabilize.
Wouldn't just
Okay,
pouring a
cool.
potion, administering a potion help?
That
I'm not wasting. I'm not going to.
I can't believe you said that in front of Evan. I can't believe you said that.
I'm not wasting a potion on
I have to put his
Fugo.
feet
Well,
in it, and I
to
won't
be
want to do
fair,
that.
Lowen would agree with Flint on that, so.
Yeah, right. I'd have to like put him in like a pot plant into like the potion. All right, so second move, medicine check.
I think you need like a 15.
Does battle medicine change that for me?
Oh, well, you can do battle medicine to just straight up heal him with a treat wounds check.
All right, let's go, Fugo, you little
Come
shit.
on. Come on. Yes!
I got a 15.
Yeah,
Yes.
there we go.
Oh, so Nico like looks over his shoulder and sees you do this and just, oh my gosh, just, you don't know how much that means to him.
Roll 2d8 for healing.
Okay.
You made an ally for life there, Flint.
That is 6 health.
Fugo wakes up.
Do your little Fugo voice.
What the fuck? Oh, gee. Thanks, Flint.
Yeah, you're welcome. Just maybe stay out of the way for a bit. I'll get you back to your dad, mate.
He just
later.
climbs up and into your armor.
Okay. Oh, it's so clammy. All right, fine. Great. Stay safe. And then with my last action, I'm going to move up to give people flanking on this Drake.
Good move.
Good move.
Great move.
Nico.
That is. I'm going to recall knowledge on this creature. Study it. I'm all fucked up. Scratch me and tail whip me. This buddy, like, breathe cold stuff all over.
This is what you get for pushing wild animals.
I'm going to need an Arcana check, and I'm pretty sure this is secret.
An Arcana check?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like the worst.
You do have the option, according to the recall knowledge rules, that if the GM tells you the skill, you can say, I don't want to do that recall knowledge check. So without...
I'd like to.
That is you don't spend the action then, but you can always make an informed choice if your character has the right skill for this. So...
Just that they're going, what is that? And going, oh, no, never mind.
I'm untrained with +0 on Arcana, so I'm going to retcon that. Thank you, Lawmaster. I love Lawmaster so much. So Nico is furious at this creature and its friends. I turn to Sombra. And I look you seriously in the eye. You know, I'm normally quite lighthearted. I look you dead in the eye and I say, fuck it up. And I cast Runic Body on you.
Ooh.
And then I move. And I'll go back. I'll go to just here, I think.
Down the hall, around the corner.
Yep. Scoot around the corner, out of line of sight.
Sombra would have absolutely nodded back, and you would have seen that she clenches her fists somehow harder. You hear the straining of the linens on her body as she tenses further.
Yeah, you see when I touch you and I put it on your shoulder, you see that sort of that light, that kind of like green energy just flows into you, and directly down, like it coalesces around your fists.
The Shadow Drake needs to keep moving because it's flying.
It can also just spend an action to fly in place. That's also an option.
But it doesn't like being flanked. And so we'll fly around Sombra, just like the circle around to her back. And then we'll target her for another Draconic Frenzy, starting with the jaws. With a miss for 15.
She raises one of her arms up and with the elbows just kind of jams its little face towards the wall.
And then it whips twice with its tail once more.
She ducks and weaves, and she feels like these ashen, smoky wings over her head as she just kind of spits in the ground in disgust.
Beautiful imagery, by the way. Amazing descriptions. Take a hero point, Aida. And Sombra, it's your turn.
I quickly turn my head and I see that Nico has moved away, and I did hear Fugo. I did hear Flint kind of exclaim when Fugo entered the armor, so she might not show it, but she's relieved. And she's going to target the Shadow Drake, and she is going to release blows of fury upon it. I rolled an 18.
Hits.
Yes.
Nice.
Damage.
7 damage as I jump up, bring my right knee up, and then flip my left leg completely straight outwards, trying to kick it from the bottom. And I'm gonna do it again.
We can see those runes pulse with that when that kick connects.
That's called a punt. Punting it.
A 15 will miss.
I will hero point this. It's personal. This has gotta go.
Let's go. Spend those hero points.
Hero, you got a bonus one as well, so
Oh,
And I
yeah.
rolled a 25
That'll hit.
for for another 9 damage.
And it has to make a fortitude save because of stunning blows, both of them connected.
But it's dead. The sniper kill.
Oh! Yeah!
With the first kick, I see the Shadow Drake kind of hover upwards, and then I raise my arm behind me like a windmill, and I almost kind of clap it between my raised foot and between my slamming arm overhead, and I just kind of smack it out of existence, like this poof of ash and smoke between my two extremities as I land back down.
Does it actually dissolve into shadows as it...
Exactly.
Oh.
That was my first action. Where's the second fucker? Do I see the second fucker? Second action, stride.
I love the idea that Sombra punched this thing that turns her head, like whips around to the other one and just starts walking towards it.
Yeah, and especially with the light of the runes from Runic Body as well in there. That's some cool image.
Yeah, I'd like the like a toxic green kind of glow.
For my third action, I'm going to, after I stride over, I'm going to just kind of quickly see Sombra untense and inhale very deeply. And you see that the original light specks of light that were coming from her body briefly dim and brightened. And I will spend a key point to do one more action for inner upheaval.
What's inner upheaval?
Yeah, it looked like you were gathering some power then. Like,
So Sombra gathers her inner energy that will further empower her next attacks afterwards.
inner upheaval. What the hell? I'm reading it now.
And that's a status bonus on top of that's the item bonus you get. So that stacks. That makes it even more likely to hit.
I can select a damage type. I don't know if it matters. I don't know if I chose one.
So yeah, it needs to be Force, Spirit, Vitality, or Void.
Let's do. I item mechanically does not quite know the differences and how they might pertain mechanically at this battle. So
I will say Vitality is like healing, and Void. Vitality is positive energy. Void is negative energy.
Going by these
Just in case you didn't
choices,
know.
Vitality
I would.
Spirit?
I'm not sure if Vitality is going to do the trick. I was hoping for recall knowledge on deck. If this is a little bit meta gamey, and please
all
Creeper tell
for
me
it.
if I'm not going to meta, without having more information on his creatures, Force or Spirit would be the good choice.
Force would have been my default. I'll go with Force because I'm not sure. This is the first time like Sombra has really sort of coalesced this extra energy. And
Nice.
as soon as she finishes inhaling, she goes back into this crouching, tense, muscled stance, glaring at this shadow creature. And those are her 3 actions. That's her turn.
Well, you make the attack as part of this. Make an unarmed strike or flurry of blows. You still get to make that attack now if you want to.
Oh, you are correct.
That's wild.
Monks,
I love
people.
that.
That's
I did think I could get it, but I thought maybe I'm misinterpreting it to my favor, so I didn't want to jump the gun.
no. This is action compression. This is really good.
So this is my 3rd attack, so I do take the
Yeah.
penalty. So this is gonna
Exactly.
Holy moly, the statuses on my list are beautiful.
All of them. Yeah.
I just gotta roll good. I hear a point is because this is not
Natural
cool.
one.
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
I rolled a
Don't
natural
want that.
one.
One.
This was
Yeah.
I hyped this up way too much for this to be a natural one.
That's
All
true.
hype.
Okay.
All hype.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I roll a total of 5 as this is the first time Sombra has coalesced this much raw magic in her body. And she sort of raises her arm to punch, but I think she gets a little woozy from having this much. And she just like outright misses. She shakes her head and it's like, fuck, you're not gonna last long. That's my turn.
But we can see this. Your fist is in this hull of force energy, almost telekinetic energy.
I imagine it's like vibrating. It looks like it's
Yeah.
furiously like moving back and forth.
Zekun, you are shaking off the frigid black shadow that just struck you.
So with these wisps, these tendrils of shadows around me, Zekun lifts his right arm first, and the remains of the shadows just drip off of it as he raises his right hand towards Nico, and there is this faint, pale light emanating from his hand towards Nico. So as I'm using my Nudge the Scales feature, giving some of my life over to Nico. So Nico, you can heal 6 hit points for that.
Amazing, thank you.
As parts of the lingering shadows that Zekun stands in seem to like cling to him now that he has called upon his oracular curse, like giving his life over to Nico. And then I raise my left hand towards the Shadow Drake that Sombra is fighting, and I'm going to use my remaining 2 actions for another Divine Lance at that one. And that light coming from my left hand just pierces the remaining shadows, blasting at the Drake. And we're rolling for that's a natural 1. I'm going to hero point that one, that natural 1.
Yeah.
And that goes into a natural 20.
Yeah.
What a flip! Oh my god!
So we're going to double
what?
Mark's his second nat 20 for the day.
And that's double to 8 points of spirit damage to the Shadow Drake. And I'm standing like with both arms extended, one pointing at Nico, one in the Shadow Drake. It's just these last tendrils of shadows vanish around Sekun as he ends his turn.
We go to Lowen.
Yeah. I think Lowen obviously also got briefly hit, but not as much as Sekun. But I think what you can see is like these little whips of shadow. He just inhales them really strangely. He's very annoyed. He looks very annoyed, and he just sort of like breathes in deeply, and you see this shadow kind of as he inhales it. And he is going to reach in his pocket and pull out his little metal toy soldier and cast needle darts on the little Drake. That is a hit, just barely.
With a 17.
Hey, hit's a hit.
It is a hit, yeah, absolutely. For 8 points of piercing damage. Yeah, and for my last action, I'm going to cast shield. So these like flames get thrown up and form into this orange kind of shield in front of Lowen. And that's my turn.
Okay, the Shadow Drake very appropriately flees. And
What?
disappears
Yeah.
into the night.
Okay.
That's so
Stop
unsatisfying.
Yeah.
Extremely
just
unsatisfying.
flies
The,
out.
the PCs would never flee from a fight. We have never fled a fight before.
Hey, it's
Yeah.
different.
We're the main characters.
yeah, this is...
It matters if we die.
I imagine that even if the thing flees, Sombra would start running. She would give up fairly quickly, but you absolutely just see her run down the.
I don't know. I feel like someone could probably catch it up,
Yeah,
right?
some-
It flies
quick.
60 feet.
Sombra does not run that fast, but you see Sombra absolutely making an effort.
We see the Shadow Drake fly out the southern entrance onto the terrace there, and Sombra stop and sort of grab herself, maybe.
Is now a good time to mention that Hans the Apprentice has a range of 500 feet?
Oh shit! Yeah.
But,
Take your shot.
So
Yeah,
I-
I will absolutely just like skip my turn if we get back to low and kill it.
No, I don't know. I don't think he cares.
But
enough.
as the Shadow Drake disappears, there's silence once more. And the sun begins to rise. I think that's where we'll end our session today.
Oh,
Right.
wow. Those little things fucked me up. Jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, you tried to pet it.
Justice for Fuko.
That's like step one of wild animals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not all cute is
What
good.
we learned today
Yeah.
was it's not good in this game to sleep in your armor. It's not good in this game to get ambushed. And it might be small and cute, but it can still bite really hard.
Oh, yeah, and whip you. It's also not good to get out of your armor. So what do you...
Lesson learned,
Because I
be
wasn't
monk.
in armor.
Yeah, lesson learned. Be spellcaster because you don't have armor.
You know, next time everyone will
Lesson
roll
learned,
up
don't
a
get
monk.
hit.
Yeah.
Old monk gang, let's go.
No, the turns will be so long. every turn would be so long.
That's my first action half an hour ago.
Tumble Through presents Twilight's Edge, a Pathfinder 2nd edition actual play of the Council of Thieves adventure path, converted from Pathfinder 1st edition. Tumble Through uses trademarks and or copyrights owned by Paizo Incorporated, used under Paizo's fan content policy, paizo.com/licenses/fan content. Tumble Through is not published, endorsed, or specifically approved by Paizo. For more information about Paizo Incorporated and Paizo products, visit paizo.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine? But that was only 2. Can you imagine if it was a swarm
Yeah.
of them?
Yeah.
No, can you imagine when you're alone and facing off everyone and then die, and then you have to fix that in the recording in your
Oh
prologue?
no! Is that what happened to you?
Yes.